Oh my god, it's a new episode of Ghoulish with me, Max Booth, a host. And today on the program, I am talking to a friend of mine named Kelby Losack. He's been on the show in the past. We talked about devil music, Satan trap music. I don't remember. Death Cool, I think is what it was called. Anyway, today we'll talk about demon possession. This is a really unique episode, a really unique conversation about the topic of demon possession because Kelby evidently has been possessed by an actual demon. And he's even gone through a fucking exorcism. This was a while back, but this is a thing that happened to him. And he came on the show to talk about it. He has not talked about this very often, so this was a pretty interesting conversation. It was nice of him to open up and reveal some crazy shit that happened to him in the past. Do not miss this episode. Spread it widely, because I don't know. I don't think I've ever held any type of conversation like this before. And holy shit, what a interesting discussion we had. I hope you dig it. I hope you go buy Kelby's books because they're really awesome. And I hope you have a fun, spooky day. This is Kelby Losack talking about demon possession.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a dachshund and some type of fucking rat dog. I don't know what she is.
You would have a wiener dog.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, so you can play with your wiener.
That's right. I'm like, I wish I was as big as this dog, right?
It is impressive. It's a small dog, but it's a large wiener.
Yeah, man, my dog has a big dick. I'll send you some photos I took. I like to go online and send ladies photos of my dog's dick. Like, it's not me, it's my dog. Calm down. I thought you wanted photos of cute dogs. That's my dog's cute penis.
Like, Max Booth has been sending dick pics, unsolicited dick pics to women in the indie lit community, and it's my dog. I thought you liked dogs.
Hashtag Red Rocket Gate. Okay. So you messaged me a few days ago saying, hey, I was once possessed by a demon. You want to do an episode about it? And I said yes.
So a lot of synchronicities happened that led up to that. David Osborne, we talk on the phone all the time. And I just mentioned, during our conversation, I brought up that time period of my life. And then he was on your show, and I was like, it was like the day after, I think, that he and I were talking about that. And I was like, I don't know why I've never brought that up before. That'd be a perfect thing to talk about on Max's show.
I was quite surprised when you messaged me that, but I knew we had to have this conversation. Have you talked about it often with anyone, like even not online?
No, I don't think I've ever talked about it. Not publicly online.
Yeah.
And outside of some family members, David and probably you, not a lot of people know the story.
All right, well, this is Ghoulish exclusive. I'm excited. I'm just gonna let you go ahead and tell me everything that happened, and I will react as you talk. Or maybe I'll just be quiet. Who knows?
So
Proceed.
I was 18 and I was I've been living on my own since I was 17. Um, and my roommate around this time was, let's see, how do I start this? I basically, I mean, I was a teenager, so there was a lot of, constant rage and but I was getting into like blackout fights where I would fist fight a lot of people, and be blacked out like the entire time. Uh, go into like super rage mode on over small shit, big shit, whatever. And it it was like I could have. It was a point of time where like I maybe could have talked to a psychologist about different things or should have sought therapy or something, but I had this feeling at some point that I have a demon inside of me. And it wasn't like it was also the most atheist I've ever been in my life was that time period. The whole like growing up in the South and like a lot of uh, there was like 12 churches in the town that I grew up in, and um, so super religious surroundings as I was brought up, and I was in a at the pinnacle of my rebellious state against all of that. And so it wasn't even that it was like a coming from a religious place necessarily because I'd abandoned all of that shit. It was just uh, in my gut, I was like, this is a demon. And
What did that mean then, coming from like an atheist point of view? Like the real demon.
um, some kind of force that, uh, and I definitely want to get into like metaphoric language and what a metaphor even is and this and that. But to me, um, I didn't think I might be bipolar, I might be schizophrenic. I thought this is a demon, and it was just I really wasn't using any kind of philosophical filter in that thinking. It's just what instinctually came to mind. And so I had this friend who we had like grown up together, kind of grown separate because of different beliefs and stuff. Just didn't uh, like fucked with each other, but just didn't do the same shit. But he was seeking like priesthood and stuff like that. Like he was a practicing priest, I guess. And he was the first person I called at one point, because I had seen uh, my demon like in a and we can dissect this as much as you want, getting
Yeah, please. What do
go
you
off on all
mean?
kinds of
You saw the demon? How? What do you mean?
yeah. So I was on a lot of drugs at the time. Uh, this was I started abusing shit when I was like 16. Uh, didn't really slow down until I was 21, and so I was on a lot of shit. But I was having an episode where I was hearing voices telling me to kill myself and this and that, and I was just sort of on dis in like destruction mode, like I would like I used to own a lot more books than I do. Actually, that's not true. I probably own a lot more now, but at the time I owned a lot that I lost because I used to just destroy my own shit all the time, set things on fire and like just tear shit up. And
That's pretty cool, though.
yeah, I mean, it it would have been cathartic if it wasn't coming from such a place of like, I don't know. It wasn't a reaction to anything. It was like the destruction was the sole purpose.
This demon
Uh,
sounds badass, man.
And I um I don't know, I had like a mental break, and I it was after the point that I was already thinking what this might be, or what I felt like it was, and yet saw a a short, probably most closely resembling like a sort of gargoyle figure, um, in the room, like in the corner of the room, and that's when I decided to hit up my priest friend and was like, "Hey, I didn't feel nervous telling him about it because it's kind of in his line of work or whatever." So I was like, I need you to come take care of this problem that I have." And he
So,
was up for.
going back just a second, so you saw it in the room. Was it moving at all, or was it more just like a statue?
Oh, it was moving.
And did it
It was
talk at all?
no, no. When I saw it, the projection of it, it never spoke. I would hear voices in my head, but they were more just like thoughts, like very loud thoughts. I don't know if that's a like I still get that from time to time, but I don't know if that's a fairly just common thing, but like thoughts that are more than just like you consciously thinking something, but just something that pops up as like a whoa, what is that?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay. So you called him up.
Yeah, I called him up, and he was real eager to come help, and my roommate asked if he could be present, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck, sure. And
Was the roommate like skeptical? Or was he like completely on build as well?
oh, he was all fucking into it. He was like,
Nice.
"Oh, bro, you're demon possessed. This is badass. Like, I can't wait to see your head fucking spinning. Like, shit gonna catch on fire."
See,
Like,
that's what the movies get wrong, man. The law is always just like, oh no, this is so scary. But in real life, it would be like, well, this is pretty cool.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like, whoa, what is going on? Like, that's why you're always like in a Insidious or whatever. You're like, just go in the fucking attic already. Like,
Yeah, see what's going on. Take a photo. Take a selfie with this ghost.
yeah, yeah. He's like, oh, this will be some serious Instagram content. I'm about to go. I'm about to go viral. Yeah, this was pre. It wasn't pre-internet. I'm not that old, but
I think you're like the same age as I am. How old are
I
you?
bel I believe so. I'm 27.
Me too. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. So, but this was 9 years ago. It was. I don't know. I wasn't really on Facebook or anything like that. So, uh, but yeah, no, my friend was pretty stoked about it, and the when the priest friend came over, he sort of got the rundown. He already knew me, so he didn't really ask what was going on. He knew he was probably already judging me, like, oh yeah, it makes sense you'd be demon possessed. But
I'm kind of curious about the original phone call. Like, did you just go and say, "Hey, I'm demon possessed," and was the friend like, "Well, I'm coming right over, man"?
basically,
Yeah. Okay.
base yeah, I kind of got to the nitty gritty of it and was like, hey, I think I have a demon. Do you think you can do something? And he was like, yeah, when you want me, come over.
Now, was he charging a fee, or was this free?
This was free,
Okay.
so he was legit, and if he wasn't, then I wasn't losing anything. So, uh, but he came over. He walked around the apartment at first, splashing water on the walls, and he he said I could pray with him if I wanted to, but if not, that was cool because he knew where my head was at the time, and I was like, I'm cool. I'm just gonna sit here, and which is kind of a weird like I was. It's sort of like all the like a lot of uh maybe first controversial statement of the podcast. A lot of college kids screaming, you know, abolish the police right now would probably be like the first people to call the cops whenever anything goes down. So that was like I was the religious version of that, and uh, so he goes around praying over stuff and splashing water on the walls and everything, and he comes back and lays hands on me for a while, and I start feeling like this, like shit immediately gets real. Like I'd been experiencing everything and even seeing things and whatever, but um, I felt from the pit of my stomach like something come out of my body, and I told that to my roommate afterwards, and he was like, "Dude, there was like this thing that came out of your mouth that was like," he described it as like you couldn't really see it, but it was like a bubble, like something translucent came out of my mouth, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" I felt that, and
Now, are you laying down when this is going on?
I was standing up actually.
And what is
We
he?
were,
What is he touching? You said he laid hands on you.
yeah. Where did he touch you? He
Show me on the dolls.
show me on the doll where the priest touched you. He touched my head.
Okay. We talking like both hands, like
Yeah,
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 like super Professor X, like
yeah. Okay.
on the both temples, and yeah. So then nothing happened, and I'm still demon possessed. No.
Surprise! I've
Surprise.
possessed the podcast now.
I mean, that's the gist of that story, and I'm not atheist anymore, but there's a ton of rabbit holes.
Before we move on past that, what happens after the exorcism? Like, does the priest friend just go, "Well, have a good day"? I mean, what the hell do you guys talk about after that?
I yeah, I offered him a drink. He denied, uh but he just, yeah, we pretty much went on our way. He asked how I was feeling. I told him what I had felt, and he seemed pretty nonchalant about it, and
That's
was like,
great.
well, if yeah, he was like, well, if you need anything, let me know, and I'll be here for you. And then he left, and
Excellent. Wow. Okay.
I didn't
You said
I
some
didn't
rabbit
destroy any.
holes. You said you had some rabbit holes to follow.
Oh, yeah. So my with that being an experience that I went through, like obviously I have. It's one of those things that's like, if a kid literally saw Santa Claus, there'd be nobody who could tell him Santa Claus wasn't real. So it's one of those like, but it didn't. I really didn't stop being atheist even in that moment. Um, it just made me start thinking about other things that could be going on in the world that we've always been trying to understand, trying to articulate, and made me more open about uh, what those things were exactly. Um, I'm sure there's a ton of people who, if I would like mention that story too, would be thinking, processing it as, oh, like this is like definitely some kind of serious mental illness, and I wouldn't argue that, like, but I wouldn't argue that it was also a demon, that a demon could be a mental illness, that schizophrenia is a demon, or that drug addiction is a demon. Um,
Yeah, well, mental illnesses, just names we've given demons.
exactly. I mean, you've got Ahriman and Payman and masturbation, And
Oh shit, I got that one bad.
yeah, yeah.
I keep cleansing too, but it just stays with me.
Is cleansing when you put things up your ass while masturbating?
Yeah, you know about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you read the PDF I sent you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It
No, I
was
wasn't. I wasn't joking when I said I was gonna get to it. I will get to it
most
if
people don't look at it, so I'm glad. I mean, I CC'd my whole family, and no one has responded.
they might have then.
Yeah, maybe. What are some examples of like ways you look at life differently now? Like things you see and you think, well, maybe this is some demon shit going on.
Um, I've just accepted it as part of the because so everything we see, we perceive as reality is a projection of some sort. Like, you know, that's how we can get into arguments of like we'll both see the same thing and argue over it, and we both saw it. So we're always seeing things differently no matter what. And I guess it's a way of like because I've also had like astral projection experiences and death experiences where I've died twice before, like flatlined. And those were also experiences that opened my mind up more to that there's more going on. I don't necessarily believe in an afterlife. I don't know what that would even mean because of how I conceptualize time and just existence. I don't understand how there could be an afterlife. I just don't ever see an end to anything. Uh, and these things like that hold influence over the real world, whereas I'd say like I wouldn't say that schizophrenia doesn't exist and that you just need to seek a priest or something. I would say that like that's influence of a demonic entity that could be handled in a lot of different ways, you know, and pills might be appropriate for some people, and you know,
It's a tricky in between spot to be someone who doesn't necessarily believe in any of the main religions, but also has experiences like this because it's like, well, what? I have no land. I'm a man with no land. I believe,
yeah,
yeah, you can't just say, you can't label yourself as any type of thing after experiencing something like that. It's a tough spot to be in.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And though I do think I brought up the pill thing, and I think that's where um, rituals have such a strong role in different religions is like as like a form of medicine, because what is a shaman but like basically a spiritual doctor. uh so like say say you have a diagnosis slash demon of OCD, and it's like, well, how do I get rid of this? And there might be, I honestly don't know if there's OCD pills or something like that, but ADD, there's definitely ADD pills, and they're awesome. Love to love to hit a bump of some crushed up amphetamines and go about my day.
This
But
episode is brought to you by Snorting Drugs.
snorting drugs.
Do it,
Enter promo code.
especially if you're a child. Go into your mom's wallet, get a little credit card, and smash that pill.
uh, yeah. Well, I don't feel bad about any direction this could possibly go if we're encouraging children to take drugs. I feel safe saying anything.
Yeah, man, this is a free spot that will eventually get me arrested.
Hasn't happened yet. So,
If you're a child, do not take drugs unless you have nothing else going on.
yeah, unless you're feeling like alone in the world,
Yeah.
then you can you know. You feeling like your parents don't pay attention to you. Maybe feeling like school is a little hard,
Yeah. If
you
they
know.
won't buy you the new game that you want as revenge, shoot up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or snort
Yeah.
or anything that nah, I won't say that. That might get you arrested.
I'm gonna have to add some type of disclaimer. I think I had to add one last time you came on the show. Only you have had to add disclaimers. I think last time we talked a lot about killing cops.
But we were talking about Insane Clown Posse and you
Yeah.
know. So,
Do you think there's some insane clown demons?
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, there's so many demons in the Juggalo scene. But most definitely. All those kids are fucked up.
It's a demon cult.
God love them. Uh,
Oh man. Okay. Do you still keep in touch with this priest friend?
no, he and I haven't talked in a long time, just from growing apart. Uh, no, I haven't spoken to him in years. But yeah, that was my only experience with an exorcism, and I had seen the movie The Exorcist before, and it made me see that movie differently because I haven't come across a demonic movie that matches my experience. Besides like maybe Julian Donkey Boy, which isn't isn't a demon movie, but you ever seen that?
Is that the guy who made his name is Solomon Korean, right?
Yeah, yeah, made.
I haven't seen that one yet.
So it's a family of Werner Herzog, or however you say his name, plays like a plays like an abusive father who drinks a lot, sometimes out of a shoe, and
Nice.
it's this whole family of weirdos. There's like a schizophrenic, the dude from Train Spotting, Spud, plays the main schizophrenic character. In the beginning of the movie, he I haven't seen it in so long, but I think he sees a child playing with a turtle, I think, and I want to say that's right. And basically he murders the child and then buries him and goes on about his business, and that's like the beginning of the movie. And uh, it's just about this really fucked up family.
Well, how is it similar to a demon possession?
Because it's such a raw, like visceral film. Have you seen any of Corinne's films?
Yeah, I saw the one. Fucking hell, what's the main one that he's known for with the tornado town?
Gummo.
Yeah, I saw that one. I saw the last two he did, Beach
So
Bomb and Spring Breakholds.
yeah, yeah. So Gummo's pretty close in tone to that, like how everybody's kind of off, and
Yeah.
just this like it's like this visceral experience watching it.
Hmm.
So imagine Gummo, but with more schizos running around,
Uh huh.
and like that's the gist of it. And like I say, that's probably the most accurate demon possession movie because it feels like a demon possession.
I get what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense. But there hasn't been any like exorcism scenes that seem realistic to you, huh? From movies because they're all so dramatic, and this one seemed pretty casual.
Yeah, it was pretty tame. It was pretty tame. I would say maybe The Wailing. Do you see that?
I did,
But
yeah, that was good.
yeah, so that I mean, I wish mine was as fucking badass as that, with the whole like fire and chicken blood and
Nothing that badass will ever happen to any of us. I would be demon possessed all the time if that could happen to me.
oh yeah, for sure. I would volunteer. Uh, uh, that pro I mean, that one didn't match my experience, but I was like, that seems pretty legit because the whole like sacrificial rituals is like demons got to go somewhere, you know. That's like even in the Bible where Jesus sends the legion of demons out of that dude into the pigs
I
that
believe
run
you.
off the cliff.
I have no
You,
idea. I didn't see that
you
movie.
never watched the Bible?
Nah, it's on my watch list on Netflix. I gotta get to it.
Yeah.
So many
It's
things to watch, man.
a pretty long one. It's like, do I watch this or Braveheart or
I thought that was the same movie.
it's like it's a spin-off.
I gotcha. What do
Yeah.
you think happened to the demon that came out of you?
Um he probably lingered. He probably
It's behind you.
uh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, that's not a green screen actually. So
Oh man,
I'm surprised you didn't tell me about that sooner.
I
Uh
thought you knew him.
yeah, no, that wasn't on purpose. Um no, I've just like in kind of joking, kind of not, like he probably did linger. Um I just have a try to have a healthier relationship with uh any kind of spirits these days. There's a book by it's actually sitting right here. I don't want to get this wrong. Her name is Sultram Alione. It's called Feeding Your Demons, and the basis of it is like it 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 goes over like the a lot of things that we're talking about, that demons presenting themselves as addictions, mental disorders, and as well as us projecting, different disorders or whatever onto something like a demon, which maybe stems from this isn't what the book says, but just like thinking that like maybe stems from artistic expression, even where like imagine really, really early people like experiencing some kind of mental disorder and like having thoughts that aren't their own, or that they don't, like constantly at battle with themselves, and trying to express that through painting or carving or something.
Yeah, that would
And
make a lot of sense with who was that painter who was like obsessed with blue? Picasso? That dude was fucking nuts, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, shit, fucking any painter. I can't think of.
Imagine having the fucking balls to look at a blank image and go, "I'm gonna create an image. I'm gonna create life out of this." That's some demon stuff, man.
Yeah,
Or looking at a rock and going, "I'm gonna shave this with a knife and make a face."
yeah. I would love to get into sculpting. Like I wish I was a sculptor, because it's just the act is so physical. It's like you don't just make art. It's not like ex nihilo. It's like no, there's something already exists right here, and I'm gonna destroy it to turn it into something else.
Yeah, that sounds badass. You should do that. Why not? Why don't you do it?
I probably will.
Just get a big
Yeah.
rock and get a knife. What do you need? Like a steak knife? I don't know. A hacksaw, machete, a gun. Just fucking shoot a face out of a rock.
Just fucking shoot.
How do you think these possessions happen in the first place? Why do you think you were so open to a demon coming into you?
Um. Uh. If we figured out the root of that, we'd probably figure out what causes depression and other shit.
That's a
Like
good point.
I think yeah, I think there's just we're all vessels for a lot of different things, for ideas, for ideas come into us all the time,
Yeah,
and I think the way I kind of uh personally see things is like demons just are existing, that we're not existing on the same like dimensional plane maybe, but that we are existing at the same time, and that everything somehow exists in different moments of space but also in the same place.
hmm
that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
But that that they could just they latch on to all kinds of people, and maybe even in uh sort of a not direct, sort of an indirect way, you could invite the same way that like you adapt a certain philosophy that somebody else has invented, you could invite just a presence that could be in the cultural sphere into you that's not necessarily a demon coming directly into you.
Yeah. Have you read a novel called Come Closer?
Yeah,
That's a pretty good demon book, man.
that's a great demon book.
Yeah.
That's Sarah Gran.
Yeah. Any other
Scary.
demon recommendations you can give before we end this?
Uh, Demons. Does Tomi count? Junji Ito's graphic novel uh, is a large metaphor for I think like well shit I don't want to dissect the whole like 1200 page graphic novel, but that's a good one.
Okay.
I,
Tell me.
I Tomi,
Okay.
Tomie.
Okay.
Uh, Other demon shit. Uh, Fuck, man. This feeding your demons. It's like it would probably be in the self-help area of the bookstore, which is one of those like you kind of walk past, but really really good one despite any beliefs. It's a like I said, it's more of like a self-help type of thing, not like any kind of exorcist type novel or anything like that, but uh really great book if you want to just think that everything is physical and quote unquote, whatever that means, and that uh Christians, Buddhists, atheists, whatever, I think could get something out of that. uh Man, I feel bad for all the people who are like, my demon book, you fucker, who like we personally know.
I can't think of anybody. I don't read the books of people I know.
No, do you even read the books you publish?
No, man. It's not obvious. I'm like, yeah, that might make me some gas money. Put it out.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the way indie publishing goes.
Hell
Uh,
yeah. I also make them pay me. You want me to publish something? You pay me. I'll put it out. I keep the money. You get to boast that you will publish. That's the payment you get.
that's how you know a publisher is legit when they charge you.
Yeah, that's what I'm always saying.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
I
so
mean
rich.
if it was free, it'd be like, I mean, what are you, desperate?
Yeah, anybody could do that. What do you have to promote, man?
Uh, I've got books that are already out. Uh, some shit I'm working on. Not ready to talk about, but Heathenish, Way We Came In. Those are books you can find. If you go to kelbylosack.wordpress.com, I've never promoted my website. I don't keep up with it a whole lot, but I occasionally blog over there. All the shit that I've done stays hyperlinked up there, so you can find me there.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on and talking to me about this. This was a fascinating conversation.
Hope it was ghoulish enough for you.
It was pretty ghoulish. Hey friends, did you enjoy the latest episode of Ghoulish? Well then why don't you go leave a review on iTunes if you like it so much, huh? How about that? And then why don't you support us on Patreon at patreon.com/PMM Publishing. Go pick up Standalone by Paul Michael Anderson. Go pre-order the next book we are publishing, Antioch by Jessica Leonard. Go buy my book, We Need to Do Something. by me, Max Booth, a host. Get those books over at perpetualpublishing.com. Whatever you do, friends, live spooky, die spooky.
Live spooky, die spooky. Ha ha ha!